So today we're going to talk about which nut butter you should choose and why, and what's going to give you the best range depending on what your caloric intake is coming up. What's going on? It's your dude, That Guy Health, and today we are going to talk about nut butters, specifically a few different kinds. Somebody reached out to me on Instagram, wanted to know which peanut butter or which almond butter or which any type of butter should they be eating, all right? And that is going to definitely be an answer that's going to depend on what your caloric intake is, where you are in your life as far as fitness, training, or nutrition intake, and if you're even competing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list the three options that I definitely partake in throughout the year, and then I'm going to let you know which option I tend to lean towards when I get into cut or into competition phase, or when I'm in between, or when I'm just not and I have a little bit more calories within my daily nutrition to go ahead and splurge. All right, so let's go over these options. Hopefully this information will give you some headway, give you a bit of insight on what you can do, and you might be surprised what I say at the end of this video because, well, you might not expect me to say something like that. So let's get into it. All right, so here I got, I gotta have my BCAAs, just finished working out. I'll probably work out again after this. And don't forget, if you want to see how some of these branched chain amino acids taste, I have a full channel that is dedicated to taste testing these and letting you know if it's a have or pass. You also can use this discount code. Go to Core Nutritional's website. Before you check out, put that code in. It doesn't matter what you buy, if it's on their website or if it's even already on sale, you'll get more money off on top of that. And go ahead and take that as a gift from me to you. So let's get into these options, all right? These are three options that I have used, I continue to use, and I would suggest you using, given you don't have any peanut allergies, and I'm going to tell you why. I use the Barney's almond butter, of course, typical Jif. We all know that from growing up, and still today Jif is around. And then something that you might not be aware of or commonly know, PBX Fit, PB Fit, all right, and it's a powder butter, okay? So let's go into when I'm using this. Usually, although I have them in this order, I use almond butter typically when I'm not in cut yet, but I'm leaning toward getting there. I'm coming down off the calories, the build calorie season. I'm kind of going into an intermediate phase so we can start getting that fat down, and I'll start leaning towards the almond butter. But you'll be surprised that the almond butter switch sometimes is more of a component if the regular peanut butter doesn't fit within my caloric intake, my macros pretty much, okay? Because when you start streamlining, trying to nail those macros daily is what's going to give you the edge to get down as soon as you can. So the more you deviate from that, I don't care if it's a gram or 2 grams, you're deviating, and that's going to make it a little rough on you, all right? So I like to be ahead of the curve when it comes to getting into competition phase. And if you are looking for a competition training or a meal plan, you can go to the website. I'll list it right there. It's www.thatguyhealth.com. Pick a training plan. I even have a fitness app. I can help you reach your goals. But let's get back into this. So let's go into some of these stats on these butters, all right? So Jif, and all these serving sizes are 2 tablespoons. All right, so they're equally in serving sizes when it comes to their macronutrients being reported. They're based off a serving size of 2 tablespoons, not teaspoons, 2 tablespoons. So Jif has 7 grams of protein, 8 grams of carbs, 3.5 grams of fat, and 109 calories total. All right. So now you'll see where I kind of interchange depending on where I am in my macros throughout the day, especially when I'm in that middle phase. I'm in that changing phase. The almond butter by Barney's, and most almond butters are similar. You can find some with a different here or there, but the almond butter is 6 grams of protein, 8 grams of carbs, 15 grams of fat, and 180 calories, okay? So if you look at that right there, you got 10 less calories in the almond butter. True. But then you have to go deeper and look at the macros for real. You have almost, 12.5 grams of fat in the almond butter. Carbs is the same. Protein is -1. So yes, interchangeable, especially when it comes to calories and protein. But if your fat macro is already getting ready to peg out, the almond butter is not going to be your friend in that sense. But if you have a little bit of slight room for some fat and you shaved off somewhere else, you can have you a little extra serving, or you can have you a full serving of almond butter. All right. So these two, like I say, are interchangeable in that way. Although the almond butter leads in fat, still depending on what you have going on, you can interchange them depending on what you're going to do. Remember, there's still 2 tablespoons, okay? So you're not going to be like, oh, let me get 3 tablespoons of that, because now you're over your calories depending on what your limit is. But when it comes to the PB Fit, they leave these two in a category of their own, and then you start moving on somewhere here with this. So the numbers for this: 6 grams of protein, 4 grams of carbs, 1.5 grams of fat, and 50 calories. 50 calories. So now you can see why I would use PB Fit, especially when I'm in cut, to get that peanut butter flavor, but without the peanut butter calories, without the peanut butter calories, without the peanut butter fat. And yes, I know I'm lacking 1 gram of protein, but oh well, okay? So in comparison to Jif to PB Fit, you're going to be minus 1 gram of protein. Okay, we can chuck that up. You're less 4 grams of carbs. That's awesome. You're going to be less 2 grams of fat. That's awesome. And you're going to be less 140 calories. That's way awesome. So now you can see why I would lean towards this. But that is in my scenario. If you're not in cut and you're not in that phase where you're coming down and trying to find that way so you can slip in the cut, then it's really up to you. Okay, it's really up to you. It's really up to you and your trainer if you have one. It's really up to your meal plan if you have one. It's really up to your daily calorie goals if you have those, which you should if you're trying to lose or you're trying to gain. You should have some type of outline of what you're going to intake daily to obtain those goals. So given that you're just trying to maintain and live a nice, fit, healthy life, you could choose any one of these options so long as they fit in your plan. All right. This by far is going to be the leanest option of the 3, the PB Fit. No, it's not your typical butter, nice, creamy, delicate texture type taste. And some people don't like the texture of peanut butter or anything else squishy, so they might lean toward this. This might be a better option for you. But this sure does do a better job of blending itself in the blender in protein shakes without leaving all the peanut butter on the side of your blender cup, because we all know that happens. It's easier to get off the spoon, and it might give you a little bit more option as far as making some type of baking good that will have the peanut butter taste, but without so much of the peanut butter fat, and allow you to have another treat, given that you know you're going to have the carbs if you do anything cookie or brownie oriented, unless you go on my channel and check out the cooking recipe to make the protein bars. I'm just saying, check that out. But anyway, that's my outtake on the peanut butters. All right, so I hope I answered your question. I hope I also offered a bit of information to those who may have been wondering. Maybe you weren't wondering that and you just stumbled up on this video and said, hey, what the hell are they talking about peanut butter? Maybe I should know. But please always keep in mind your peanut allergies, any allergic reactions or allergy side effects that you have to butters. Don't eat them if you have a side effect or if you have an allergy to them. That could be horrible. But if you don't, enjoy, choose any of these 3 that fit your scheme and go for it. You can get these at your local grocery store, all right? So anyway, you know what I always say, be safe, let's build together, and peace.